is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Arrington and Mr. Whittaker. So I will start first with Ms. Arrington. Delaware Arrington is a native of North Carolina, and she has a full-page resume.
You don't have
and
to
of
read it
course
all.
I'm not, I mean, I will read
It's
the
too
copy
much.
for all of you to read. It's worth reading because I have read it. Believe me, I have read it.
Thank you. You're so sweet.
So, but just to keep it short, her corporate background has led her to live and work in Europe, which is very interesting, for over 10 years. Wow, I wish I had that.
I loved it. Loved
With
it.
fortune companies such as John Deere, Reuters, and the federal government. Very good. Currently, she serves as the Director, Human Resources to the Delaware Secretary of State and the Department of State, the first state, right?
Yeah, the
So
first
that's
step.
a good thing.
First state.
She is a graduate of the University of Maryland, Cornell University, and Thunderbird Global School of Management. Well, her executive report card shows that thousands she has coached and mentored, helping them obtain better and more suitable careers or entrepreneurial endeavors. Okay, she has recognition in top 5% of the Fortune companies for developing an engaged workforce, which is very important. Fortune Company Executive Leadership Member, United Way Award recipient, various board member, and recognized nationally as the blueprint of a business partner by Fortune companies. Okay, she is well known for her creative, innovative, and proactive approaches, not just to her career, but to life in general. And we are so pleased to have you here.
Thank you.
And our next speaker is, not next, but the person sitting next is Stephen Whittaker. He's the branch manager in our own town here in Dover,
Yay.
Delaware, from Johnny Genosic Furniture. And if I may, when I first moved to Dover, I bought my furniture from Johnny.
Good answer, good answer, good answer. Yay.
And I'm happy with it.
Wonderful.
He has a diverse background with over 25 years in sales, fashion, marketing, retail management, and ownership and talent acquisition. So hopefully you all will take this opportunity to get introduced to both of these speakers here. They are here to help you. Mr. Whittaker has owned and managed retail operations in Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and GA regions. Mr. Whittaker currently presides over the new state-of-the-art Johnny Genosic location that has recently opened in Camden, Dover. It has been recently because I thought it was...
1 month.
Oh, so this is the new one. I got to go visit that.
1 month.
There's one in Dover?
1 month, yes.
Oh, that's going to
But
be closer.
there was one Johnny Genosic before also, so this is the new one
The
that
new
has
one.
opened up.
Yes,
Okay.
1 month old.
Okay. He's a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh and a current member of Delaware State School of Business Advisor Board. Welcome, both of you.
Thank
you
you.
for the warm welcome. And, thank you for such a glowing, it's hard to hear about yourself. So I was really focusing more on Stephen. What is your name? Cindy.
Cindy.
Well, this is all about you today, Cindy. And you must be very special. So we just want to say glad to be here. It's an honor. And you won't get shortchanged, I promise. And I promise not to bore you and talk as much as I did the first time. So we're going to talk about professional branding. And we see a couple of students just come in, make yourself comfortable. It's very informal, even more so. Who wants to tell me what professional branding is?
Your image.
Very good. Yes. Right answer. I wish this was Jeopardy. I feel like I got my clicker. Anybody else want to add to that? So she was exactly right. What's that?
I think she got it.
You got it? Okay. So it is your professional brand. Your professional, not only your outer image, what you're known for, what people say that you are, or who do you say that you are. And so we're going to talk about developing that, cultivating that. You want to obviously have a positive image, but negative image may not be a bad thing because it helps you to perfect your professional brand. And a brand is important because that's what corporations are going to know you for. Is everybody in here planning to go work for a corporation? A business? Hopefully, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, you too?
I have a little bit of my own business, that's what I'm trying to focus on.
Okay. this will probably be more tailored to, you can use some of this for your own business, obviously, because you're gonna be known for something, and you're gonna stand for something in your business. So I'm gonna be speaking because I have a lot of experience in corporate America from the corporate, but I think you'll be able to take some things from it. Anyone else, everybody else planning to a corporate career, then you're, hopefully you can, this will help you. So, at the first session, when it was like jam-packed and they all went to the first session, I am not gonna talk as long, because I wanna get to it, but I love quotes. And I'm not gonna read them all like I did, and you can read them, but I love quotes that are meaningful to the subject and the topic. So, Karl Lagerfeld, you know, very popular designer, said, don't overact the story of your name, overact the story of your work. And then I love what Chris Arnold said in the middle there. He said, think of yourself as a brand. You need to be remembered. What are people gonna remember you for? What defines you? If you have it in you, do something that defines you. Invent something. Develop a unique skill. Get noticed for something. It creates a talking point. So this is what we're gonna do today. You're gonna be known for something. You're gonna stand for something. When people hear your names, whether it's in your business, whether it's in corporate America, they're gonna know what you stand for. They're gonna know what you bring to the table. They're gonna know your area of expertise. They're gonna say, I'm gonna go to this person for this because they're good at this. I'm gonna go to this person because they're good at that. So we will get you there pretty quickly, okay? So, of course, we all heard about the name brands, Lay's, Alka-Seltzer. When you say, you know, Lay's, nobody can eat just one. Everybody knows that. So we want it to be that when they say, in the first session, there was a young man, and he said, everybody comes to me for IT. Well, you know, don't you want to be, if you're an IT major, don't you want to be that person where, oh, I need to go to that person? In between all the sessions and the lunch, I had to email my IT person for Department of State. I'm like, Bill, are you around tomorrow? Because I need help. I don't like anybody to work on my computer but Bill. Bill was started off as a temp. Because Bill was so popular, they created a job for Bill. Gave Bill a really good promotion and a really good raise because everybody wants to Bill to touch their computer and their printer. So do you think Bill has a brand? Yeah, Bill is known for being very responsive. If he hasn't responded to me by now, then Bill is in Las Vegas because he and his wife got married in Las Vegas. So they probably are, because he responds quickly. It can be 9 o'clock at night. He's gonna call me. Dolores, don't worry. Yeah, I'll be there. How early are you gonna get in? Don't you wanna be known as that kind of person where someone would create a job, give you a raise? Well, we're gonna help you. And obviously Mercedes-Benz is known for quality. So, to start off in developing your professional brand, you want whatever you do to tie into the corporate goals for the company and your department. So it's all gonna start there. As you move into corporate America, as you start your business, everything you do needs to tie into that mission, that vision, that objective. It's not gonna help me if I use Christiana Care. If I go to Christiana Care and say, oh, I'm gonna slash all the nursing staff, and they're trying to recruit more nursing. But I'm thinking, well, HR, you know, you don't need as many nurses, we need to do this, and you can, that's not gonna fit, it's not tying in. So I need to understand my corporate vision, I need to understand not only the departmental goals, before establishing how I tie into all of that. So we talked about that. Some other tools to help you develop your brand, obviously your job description is supposed to tell you who you are and what you do, your performance goals and your performance measures. So part of this engagement that we're having and discussion, because I'd rather it be a discussion and a kind of an interchange of ideas and sharing, is that not only are you going to be known for your professional brand, what you're good at, who do people say that you are, who do you say that you are, but it's going to help you with your resume, your cover letter. And when you get a job, it's going to help you with your performance review. So you're getting all this in just a few minutes, okay? And if there's something I need to send to your advisors or counselors, I know some of you are trying to take notes, you're going to get a handout. I'll be glad to share it and email it to them later this week. They can just let me know. Others, it's important who people say that who you are. It's important, I'm going to say that again. It's after lunch, sorry. It's important what other people say who you are. What do they say, in other words? Whom do people say that you are? Direct reports, managers, co-workers. Who in here has someone come up to them and say, you know, you're really good at it? Who can say that? What do they say when they come to you?
They say that I'm a really good SI, so a supplemental instructor. I know a lot of the course material and I'm able to refer and help a lot of students.
Ooh, can you say that louder? That was so good. Can you say it louder?
Mm-hmm.
So, well, first to introduce myself, my name is Kyron Bonner.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is Tyrone?
Kyron.
Kyron.
Kyron Bonner, yes.
All
I'm
right.
a double major accounting and finance with a minor in financial planning.
All
But
right.
I'm a supplemental instructor, and a lot of people, when they hear that I'm going to be the SI for a course, they like to participate in that class because I make sure the students know the course material as well as help them out.
Do we know what his professional brand is? Who's going to say it? What would you say your professional brand is?
I would say my professional brand is being able to help others as well as be confident.
I would say too, you're definitely on track to be an instructor,
Yep.
professor. I don't know what your career is, but people are already saying, we want you to teach us. I think you need to think about, I don't know, do you think about higher learning, academia?
I'm trying to influence him, but.
Yeah, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so your advisor's already, your
You're right.
professor's already doing it. So, because right away it jumps off the page. Right away, I mean, people are telling you that's what you're good at. So I don't know if you've thought about that.
I have thought about it. I actually do. In the summertime, I like to. I'm part of something called Freedom School. So what I do is I help high school students with literature during the summertime.
Oh, you are screaming, you're doing it in your free time, you're volunteering. Oh my goodness, you gotta convince him.
And by mistake, actually, I asked him, can you be my SI for retirement class? And he tells me, I'm going to be a student in your class.
You're running from it, but it's gonna catch up with you
Yes,
because
it
you're
will.
consumed with it.
Yes,
It's
it
you.
will. Excellent.
And the money will follow.
It
So
will.
thank you so much for sharing that. But that is already people are saying it, your instructors, your professors are noticing it, people are coming to you. That's usually how it happens when it's that thing that maybe you're like, well, I'm majoring. I went to college, I didn't share this earlier, I went to college to major to be a nurse. I wanted to be, but during my time, you're supposed to be a nurse or a teacher. Not a lot of us were majoring in business, And I went to be a nurse, and I think I got to my junior year, and I said, I really don't, this is not really what I want to do. I want to do business. I don't want to do nursing. I want to do, and people are saying, you just have a mind, and everything I was doing in my spare time was all about reading things about business and women breaking into the business field. It was nothing really to do with nursing. But I did it because that's what people, you were supposed to go to be a nurse or a teacher. And I just said, the heck with it. Forget all that chemistry, anatomy, physiology. I'm going into business, school for business. But I listened. I'm glad I stopped because I would have probably not been the best nurse. I would have been overly sympathetic, crying with the patients. You got to be kind of tough to go through people, watch you through the pain and the blood and stuff didn't bother me. I love that. I love having a scalpel in my hand. I love that stuff. I don't know what I love that. I love watching the needle. I loved all that stuff. But it was when people were in pain and you can't do it. And that time they weren't giving you all the drugs that they're giving you now to manage pain. And so I just couldn't. I'm just like, crying. That's not a good nurse. So very good. You raised your hand about. I said, who would people say your brand is, or what would they say about you? What's your name? Katie?
Kenny?
Kadeen Kelly.
Kadeen,
Kadeen.
okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
What do your friends come to you for? Or
He's a good speaker, come on.
That's what it would be, like leadership. I guess
There you
taking the
go.
initiative at times. I'm outgoing and I'm
There you go.
outspoken. So if I want to say something I want to be heard, I'll make sure that I am heard.
and I can tell that with you. Once she told you to speak up, it was like boom,
Boom,
it was
right.
there. So you already know, and there is a lot of corporate positions for you. So you can utilize that, whether it's in communications, PR, marketing, union negotiations, labor relations. There's a lot of career fields. What's your major?
Finance major.
Finance. Do finance people speak up a whole lot? I don't see them. When I go to meetings, they don't usually
They don't
just
get-
present the numbers
exactly.
and then sit down.
No, that's not what financial planning is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
finance, so is she on the financial planning? Okay,
She's a finance
Okay.
major as well.
Okay.
so very good, very good. So tying it all together, corporations, most of you are going into the business world or opening your own business. You got to know why you're here. What's your purpose, especially in corporate America? And again, once you pull all of that together, it builds not only your resume cover letter, but when you get a job, your performance review and your performance plan. So I want to fast track, to some exercises.
There you go.
I got to the exercises much quicker than I did in the first class. So can I pass them out some stuff?
Sure.
So that we can have some good fun.
I can do that.
Because I'm tired of hearing my own self talk. I really do. I really do get tired of hearing myself talk. Don't tell my husband I said that. And then Stephen's got some good stuff to present, which I really want him to take his time this time.
Yeah. We'll be fine. We're doing good. Smoke 10 up.
So-
We're doing good.
Hopefully, I don't know if everyone has a pen, and I guess it would help if I got a couple of them.
Yeah, that's my thing.
We'll find you.
So, on here is a professional brand sheet. Something that helps me. Because at the end of this, you're gonna see what my professional brand, maybe some of you have guessed. And I'm actually not, I never have liked to speak in front of people. But now and everybody said, oh, you're so good, you should, use it. And guess what? I got put into situations where I had to speak all the time. I thought, well, I have nothing to really share. But we'll talk about mine at the end. So we want to explore, all of these next few slides are all about you beginning to think about your professional brand. Each of you has one. Your family, your friends, your professors, when you go to work, you're gonna be known for something. You wanna be known for something excellent, because if you're the Bill that I always call, everybody wanted Bill to go from contractor to a regular full-time job. Everybody was calling up that cabinet secretary, do you have anything for Bill? Because we wanted to see Bill land. We didn't want Bill to leave and go work, for Stephen, in his
Right.
IT department. We didn't want that.
Right.
We wanted to keep Bill in-house. Everybody lobbied and marketed Bill because Bill was known for responsiveness, excellence, good customer service, patience, fixing your computer, never being a problem. I was ordering pizza for Bill and his people. I mean, I like Bill so much, I'm like, Bill, here's my home number, here's my cell number. When his wife got married, I'm like, oh, let me get, Bill was just that important because Bill was known for all of those things. Wouldn't you want your boss and other people to do the same for you? We all helped Bill get promoted. We're like, if you dare lose Bill, you just crazy, and Bill is making fantastic IT money, for the state of Delaware. But he deserves it, and then some. And it was right on time, right before he got married. So wouldn't you want that? Wherever you go to work, wouldn't you say, wow, and that somebody else is marketing you, knowing what you're good at, and pulling out all the stops so that you can get what you deserve and get what you earn because you're known for that niche. And each of you have it. Some of you said it out loud, but each of you know what it is. And maybe you don't. So this is going to help you. So the first one, and these are just, I don't want you to feel that I kind of like putting the top 3 of everything. I don't know why, but so write down what you think you do best. Just what you think you do best. Some of you have already said it, and you can just one thing. Just take a moment and write down, number 1, what do I do best? Just one thing. I don't see any clocks in the room. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, because
You doing fine.
It's supposed to be with the teacher, not with the students.
Oh,
We got
that's
plenty of
what-
time. You're doing good. You're doing good.
You're fine.
You're fine.
1:50.
Perfect. You're
And then
perfect.
we're going to ask you to kind of comment on this. Let's jump to number 4. What are your weaknesses? This is not what people are saying is your weakness, but what you know. Now, if you tell me to go sell something, Stephen is not going to want to hire me. Number 1, I'm going to want to give it away. I'm going to say, oh, you're having hard times. Okay, look, you know what? You give me $1 a week. So Stephen is not going to want me ever on his sales team. He would want my husband. My husband can sell ice in Alaska. Ice in Alaska. He does. I mean, he can put a spin on something and it'd be the truth. But Stephen would not, because I would be like, well, you can't make your payment. Or, okay, I understand. I'm not the one to be. I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Okay. Put number 5. Who comes to you for your area of expertise? Is it your professor? If you're already, and some of you may not, if you worked a job, if you haven't worked a job, that one might be a little difficult, but think about friends. there's colleagues that you have associates in college who are saying, hey, you're good at communicating. I want you to be my SI, so things that people are saying. So, and then, what do others say that is negative? We won't get you to share that out loud, but you might want to write down one thing. Stephen will say, I like you, Dolores, but I don't want you on my sales team. You stay in HR. And I would say, okay. You just stay. You'll be giving away furniture. It'll be free piece of furniture every Friday. Free Friday.
Free Friday. Free Friday.
I have employees out in the parking lot having picnics instead of selling furniture. No, I wouldn't probably work well there. Okay, who would like to share number 5? So who, other than the 2 who've already spoken, or the couple that have already spoken, who would like to share one thing of someone coming to you for your area of expertise? And let's not speak all at once. Don't be shy. Could be a family member, a friend. Don't be shy. Who's got something they don't mind sharing? One person. Okay. Oh, yes. Thank you so much.
With 2 hands, so this is going to be good.
But I'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take the stretch.
I'll take the stretch. And state your name for us.
My name is Arzel Norwood.
Arzel.
Arzel.
Hi, Arzel. Thank you for coming.
And people who come from my area of expertise are my family members.
And what do they come for?
My listening ability.
So what's your major?
I am a finance major.
Yeah.
So, okay, now how are you going to be able to incorporate that? You plan to go and work in a corporate setting?
That's a dream.
What's your career plans?
Right now, my career plan is kind of starting off maybe as like a teller in a bank or somewhere.
Okay.
Because at least my family members tell me that I'm good at it.
Okay.
So I kind of want to use that to, just talk to people.
That is a good place, because can you imagine people coming in on a Friday, the pay got messed up, they're blaming the bank because their HR told them it was the bank's fault.
Exactly.
Somebody payroll said, and everybody's going, you want to be the one they come to because you're going to have, already I feel calm in talking to you about my problem. So those listening skills could be your brand. You can develop, a lot of people don't listen well. Because she said, I don't.
I do, but then it's like I always have to say something, which sometimes people don't want to hear something.
I feel like I already know what people are going to say. So let me just get to the chase. A lot of my family is from North Carolina, but most of them are from New York, and we want to get to the point. We've lived via DC. We just want to get to the point. Okay, I got it. Get it. Okay, move. Okay, move. You're not like that. A bank teller wouldn't work for me. I'm like, I'm sorry they told you that, but and you're going to take time and trying to massage the ego. So your brand, if people are telling you that will work for you in a bank, if you're the one that can, unfortunately, everybody's going to want to sit there and upset customers to you in the bank, but that's going to make you be very popular, because when I go to my bank and I notice that so-and-so, and I'm like, what happened to so-and-so? And the line could be short. I'm like, no, I'm waiting for this, I want this teller. And her line could be long. And when she went there, I'm like, where is she? Oh, well, she got a promotion. Wait, she got a promotion. Which bank? Where? Where in Delaware is she? Because that's how much I love my teller. I hate going in there and there's somebody I don't know and not used to dealing with. I mean, don't you want to use your, because they know you. Hi, Miss Dolores. How's the bishop? Da, da, da. I like that. When I walk in the door. And this one, I'm going to tell you, when she was going, my heart was just, and she just left the banking industry. So that's going to, knowing that that's your professional brand, you need to cultivate that. And you may start off as a teller, but it will not stay there, because then banker one, they have all these bankers, they call them all bankers. And you've got all these bankers here today, so utilize that. So we won't have anybody else share. Use this exercise at your leisure. You don't have to turn it into anyone, but it's going to help you identify whom people say that you are and who that you are say that you are, so that when you get that corporate job, when you start that business, you can be focused. I guarantee you, if you do this, it may sound simplistic. I've used it myself. If you do this, it's going to not only build your resume, your cover letter, it's going to get you that job. If you go in strong and convinced about what your professional brand is, what you're good at, what sets you apart, what is your niche. All I can do is HR. I'm not trying to do finance. I'm not trying to do sales and marketing. I'm good at one thing. If you come to me and talk to me about something else, I need to refer you to my esteemed colleague who's good at that. I know that. And so I have perfected that over 30-some years. I tell you it works. It works once I found out what I enjoy doing and found companies that were receptive to what I was doing. I didn't have to ask for a promotion. I didn't have to ask for a raise. I don't think I've ever really applied for a job that I've gotten in, I don't know when. People come to me and say, I want you on my team. They come to me and say, I want to give you this promotion because I'm known for something. And then you'll see what my brand is. So I'm not telling you something that's just out of the, this is not in a book. This is what I have lived for the last 30 years. Why I could be at Deering Company in a room full of white males and be the only black person at the table and riding around in the corporate jet. That is why, at a time when someone like me was not supposed to be doing that. Why Reuters would uproot me and my husband and say, we're going to relocate you to Philadelphia and put you in Rittenhouse penthouse in the middle of Rittenhouse. Those of you from Philadelphia, you know the Rittenhouse district. We're going to pay for your groceries. We're going to pay for your parking. Too great. We're going to set up your husband in an office because my husband's a broker, plus a bishop. But we're going to do all that. That's why that happened. And I didn't ask for it. That's why just last week I was asked if I wanted to be promoted in state. I didn't apply for anything. Someone called me on a Saturday. Have this opportunity for you. That's how that happens. So I'm telling you something that I have lived and I have done, and it works. It sounds simplistic, but take time to cultivate it and perfect it. Let people begin to market and brand you just like we did Build. And the money and promotions, if you're after money, it will follow. Why did I leave Reuters where my bonus was more than what most people make in a year? Because sometimes you can't make too much money and you get tired. I was traveling and flying all over. Do I miss the money? Heck yeah. I miss the money. I'm not stupid. But it was my choice. And it was, I left on my terms. And even though they wouldn't accept my resignation for 6 to 8 months, because she said, oh, you're going through a phase. That you just take time off. We'll fly y'all somewhere. I am tired of flying. I'm tired of traveling. I've got frequent flyer miles I'll never use. I've been in every country imaginable. I've lived there. I'm tired. And she said, oh no, you're just burned out. Don't worry about it. So I tell you it works. If this little country girl from North Carolina could be sitting among CEOs and executives and they're saying, Dolores, well, what do you think? Mm-hmm. And if they're asking me today, Dolores, well, has anybody talked to Dolores? Is HR involved? You can do the same thing. If I can do it, you can do it too. And this will help you, so do that. So I am going to wrap up. I didn't talk about a log, but you should keep a daily log of all of your accomplishments, things where people have commended you. That's another series for another time, but you really should keep a log of accomplishments, successes and failures, because we learn from our failures. I've learned that I'm not a sales and marketing person. I've learned that I like finance to a point. I don't want to spend all day talking about, and finance and fiscal and budget are all different, but I don't want to spend all day looking at a budget. I just don't want to I want to talk to people. I want to engage with people. I don't want to do that. And then we didn't talk about anything you do for your company, yourself, should pass the so what test. If you do it, so what? Why should the company care if you save them $10 million if it's no benefit to them? Or, I'm sorry, if you developed a $10 million system that cost them $10 million and there's no return on their investment. So everything, again, needs to tie to the company objectives. It might be fantastic that I want to roll out this succession planning, talent management system that costs $2 million, and they're saying, well, we just started. We're a startup. We're in the startup phase. That's not going to make sense for us, right? So anything you do, you want to do things that are companies are interested in 3 things: making the money, saving the money, and mitigating the risk. That's what they're interested in. If you can hit one of those, all 3, fantastic. If you can just hit one, why wouldn't they keep you? Why wouldn't, and I said this earlier, no one hold it against me. Can I speak freely? Nobody's gonna judge me if I speak freely? If Trump came in and offered me a job, I'll take it. If it was $1 million, I don't care what his political views are. I'm not there to be a president. I didn't vote for a savior. I voted for, I voted for, and I didn't say I voted for him because I'm a Hillary person. So no one said, but you could, if he came and said, you know what, Dolores, I need help with diversity, inclusion, and I heard you're the best. Heck yeah, I'm taking that job. Heck yeah, I'm taking that job. You should have the same mindset. You should have that very same mindset. Your skill set should be such that, hey, that person really has need, and I'm going to say, yes, sir, Mr. President, I think I could help you. I think I could open your awareness and expand. I mean, study the lessons of anyone. You can learn from anyone. He's got some good business lessons that we can glean from. He really, as a business case model, he's got some good, and I've been telling my HR team, because they were like, oh, falling out and crying, and I had to send out communications and memos, and we know Delaware's predominantly a Democratic state, and and I work for a political environment, and everybody was like, I'm sitting, and then the people who voted for Trump, well, Delaware, why are you sending out those emails? I said, dear heart, I'm sorry, but I know you're candidate one, but some people are very hurt. They didn't want to come to work. I mean, people were just, had to explain to their children. I mean, it was horrific that next day for me at work, but I had to be an HR professional.
Right.
I said, okay, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose, but he's still the president. Yeah. And we're supposed to respect those who have rule over us, whether you like it or not, you're supposed to. So I said, but look at the business case. There's a lot of business lessons to be learned here about how elections are lost, number one, how they're won. So we took it and made it into a business case. And then everybody began to, and of course I said, you need to rejoice with your colleagues who are happy. And then I said, y'all need to be sympathetic about those who are not. Let's all play nice together because, it's not, presidents come and go, So, and next time more people will vote and not take it for granted that they need to sit home, and think it's, so anyway, I'm off that. So, but if he came and offered you a job for $1 million and said, y'all know y'all would take it. Y'all would take it and say, mom, dad, friend, I may not agree with him, but I think I can help him.
Yeah.
You would take it, So you're going to have people that will do that for you. So anything you do should pass the so what test, if things were better or worse after you did something. Again, companies are care about you making money, saving the money, and mitigating any risk. That's kind of it in a nutshell. And that's another seminar. I'll be glad to come back. I've done it at Delaware State before, and I'll be glad to talk. But doing that sets you up. If you can show that in your resume somehow, through your academia, if you can show that at work when it's time for your performance review, you can literally say, okay, Mr. Boss, I know you don't have time, but can we schedule time to talk about my performance? And and this is the raise I think I should get, And your boss is going to say, wow, oh, okay, because you've already demonstrated. You're not just talking. You've kept along and you've demonstrated why you should be the one to get the bigger raise or the promotion. Am I making sense? So all this ties together. All this ties together. So be that Bill that I like to call us, Bill, help my computer. I need you to get my PST files. And Bill's like, oh, Dolores, I'm ordering pizza again for Bill. I love Bill and his department. I'm like, Bill, do you want barbecue? I'm just like, Bill, So Bill's doing well. So I'm trying to say a lot. We won't get into that. Keep track of that. Okay, whoops. So as I wrap up, and I knew I threw out a lot, the log, accomplishments, all that. But we talked about identifying your professional brand, whom people say that you are, and of course who you say that you are, developing it, perfecting it, practicing it, cultivating it. It's got to all tie in. You want to pick companies based on your strengths. And if I'm a very creative Google type person, I'm not going to be able to work in a bank. I'm a very creative person. I haven't found the bank yet that's going to allow me a whole lot of creativity. It was kind of like working at Deere. They're very conservative. I love Deere. I love Deere. Can't say anything to me about John Deere. I love John Deere equipment. Love it, love it, love it. Love Iowa. With the Iowa, people said, we didn't know you were black. I'm like, oh, okay. Because they hadn't seen anyone like me. But I loved it. Love, love, love Deere. And they hire a lot of diversity. Age, females, good company to work for. But make sure that you tie, I had to go to companies that love my creativity. So keep that in mind when you're researching companies that will allow you to perfect the gifts that you have and utilize your gifts. Once, of course, your professional brand is realized, you're going to be seen as the leader or the go-to. You're going to be seen as the bill, and it's going to automatically propel your career if you develop, perfect, and cultivate it. You won't have to ask for, you won't even have to apply. People will be championing you. They'll be moving you along. They'll be saying, why can't this person get that promotion? You'll have built your own market, your own brand, and you'll be known for it. And leadership will hear about it. You think when the executives have a problem or anywhere, or the secretary of state, he wants Bill too, so everybody wants Bill to be happy. So, anybody want to take a guess on what my brand is as I close up? Anybody just want to throw some things out as before I get to the last slide on whom people say that I am? Anybody can guess? Yeah, I'm saying that I'm enthusiastic. By the way, I took the job with the cabinet secretary for the Department of Finance, and the Secretary of State wrote the nicest email that I burst into tears. And he said, and told me I could always come back. So I took that position because I was known for a certain kind of brand, and they needed my help. So I'll be primarily out of Wilmington. But I had no idea this person looked at me this way, because we used to argue like back and forth. But he said, I love what I saw you doing in the Department of State. And to get that kind of, you don't want people to be happy that you're leaving or say, okay, she's leaving. But he kept saying, are you sure? Have you changed your mind? That to me is the highest compliment, that you can leave, that people will miss you when you're gone. So, enthusiastic, yes. And that was one of the reasons, of course, enthusiasm.
Passion.
Yes, passion. Outgoing, yeah, and I'm really kind of an introvert. But I have to be outgoing at work, so yeah. But in my private time, I'm very quiet. Yeah, but okay, yeah. Well, so let's get to it so we can get Stephen up, the really fun stuff, social media. The first thing people will say is that all of that is correct, problem solver. I love to solve problems. When people have a problem, I don't care how complex it is. I was at lunch solving somebody's problem at the table. Because I told you, I said, didn't I? She's like, oh, I said, well, why don't you do this? And she said, I never thought about it. She said, I never thought about that. Because I love when there's a problem. I fixed all the problems at the Department of State until I didn't have any more problems, and I got bored. So driving for results, I'm tough, fair, consistent, compassionate, ethical, and loyal. I love lawsuit avoidance. Being in HR, that's a big thing. I never had a lawsuit because we resolve problems at the lowest level and treat people with respect. Just because somebody stole something, you don't have to treat them disrespectfully. And you can do it courteously, and if there's something you can do to help somebody get another career somewhere else, that's what we can do. But sometimes it's not with us. If you're working with money, you still, with no dear heart, you can't do that anymore. But maybe you need to go work and, but in treating people the way you would want to be treated.
Exactly.
A creative out-of-the-box thinker, especially with an allocation of employee talent. I love to mentor, coach, and allow employees to use their brand to further their careers, and you can do it. It works. I've done it. I did it with all our kids. I do it with all my HR team. I've done it with hundreds of people and it works. It's a model that works. I love to respond to inquiries within 24 hours, 99% of the time. There are other times I do take a vacation, but I do even check my email on vacation. My husband's used to it, God bless him. Because I'm thinking if that person calls HR and they get to my level, something's wrong. Yeah. What happened? I have a fantastic team, but why did you feel like you needed to escalate it to me? And then I love to create engaged workforces, 100% success rate. I love doing stuff like that. Make sure you have metrics and numbers. We business people, we love numbers and metrics and, and showing results. They love that kind of stuff. So when you go into an interview and you're able to articulate this on your resume and then confirm it via your interview, and then you have the backup documentation, hired. Matter of fact, we were going to give you this, but you're going to stand out in such a unique way. And it works every time. Every single time it will work. It's a formula that's been proven. So I know it was a lot. I rushed through. Some of these are 4 seminars in one. You just have to invite me back so that we can do a deeper dive, because I tried to put a lot into one thing. Any questions? Any comments? I'm sorry I rushed through it. I want to give Stephen a little bit more time than I did this morning.
She's fine. Don't you guys? It was fine. We got through it
Hold on
perfect.
to the questions after he's done.
Okay, you want to hold on? All right.
Entirely up to you guys.
Oh, he said it's anything while it's fresh on your mind?
Yeah. Do it while it's fresh in your mind.
Going once, going
Yeah,
twice.
Troy?
I thank you for your attentiveness. Thank you so much. Appreciate you
Thank you,
being
Mr.
here.
Lord. I promised our illustrious camerawoman that we would stay in this area.
I know, I tried.
Mr. Lawrence said, I don't know if I'm gonna stay. But I kinda threw it out there on both our behalf that we would stay in this area so for sound purposes and video and media purposes. So you guys heard a little bit about my background. The last, coming up on 13 years, I've been in the furniture industry. I opened and ran stores in the Washington, D.C. area. That's where I'm from. I also opened and ran stores in the Atlanta region for a major furniture corporation. We were actually in 17 states with 128 stores. The last 2 years, I've had the astute pleasure of hanging out here in Delaware with Johnny Janosic, as you guys just heard. I actually run the Dover locations. Those of you who are from this area, you might have known we had 2 separate locations, 2 stores in Dover. We just built a state-of-the-art multi-million-dollar facility that we just opened about a month ago in Camden. I don't know is anybody from down in that area that's south of here? Have you seen it?
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, wow. Well, you guys have to come check us out. We're very excited about it. Johnny Janosic is one of the largest independent employers in the state of Delaware. I've been around about 63 years. It is a homegrown company, and I'm so happy, obviously, I'm a part of that. Coming from, as I always say, across the bridge, if you will, the D.C. area. This is a far cry different than where I'm from, but it's been a great journey up to this point. I started this morning because obviously we're going to talk a little bit about social media. I started my conversation this morning discussing the fact that I have a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old daughter. So social media means everything to them, especially the 8-year-old, as I said earlier, that she probably knows more about this than all of us put together. She's only 8. She just turned 8. But as we all know, that's the world that we live in right now. Our communication worldwide, as it's called, the worldwide internet is called, the worldwide social media outlet is where we all communicate. And there's lots of do's and don'ts in that environment. I, as a hiring manager for my corporation and my division, which is sales and marketing, there's several things that I look at. Obviously, Mr. Loris is a HR professional. She can relate as well to some of the things that I'm about to say to you guys, but there's some very, very distinct do's and don'ts, if you will. By show of hands, how many of you guys are on one social media platform right now? Okay. Pretty much all of us. 2, 3, 4, I'm getting worried.
Oh, there's about a
4, is there 5 in the building? Is there 5 in the building? Okay.
I think they don't want to say.
Yeah, I think, yeah. The 5 did like this. It tells you guys where we are, certainly in our personal lives and in our business lives, okay? So, with that being said, I'm gonna throw a couple things out to you guys. If I were to tell you that 45% of the job recruiters out here right now, including myself, Mr. Loris, if I were to tell you that 45% of the job recruiters before they start to make a determination if they're going to bring you in and sit down and interview and talk to you, they looked at your social media accounts. How many of you guys would say, oh my God? Or how many of you guys would say, I'm fine with that? Okay? How many would say they're fine with it? That's excellent. That's excellent. As soon as we leave here, I have a lie detector test. I'll be checking everybody's favor when you leave this building. But in all seriousness, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Because that's the facts, guys. The Stevens of the world and Mr. Lawrence's of the world, that's what we're looking at. So if Mr. Lawrence sends her resume to me, before I decide, and that resume made it look wonderful. She's a Delaware State graduate. She did great. She did wonderful while she was here. Community services, excellent. She's done wonderful things. I may say, Google. Guess what may come up? Oh my God. I got a resume and I got Google. They're not quite jelly. Okay? Or I may do better. I may go into what? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and say, here's the resume, but here's Facebook. Two things are going to happen. I'm either going to make a decision if I'm going to even call her back or respond to her. I may see something that makes me say, that's not the type of person I want to be part of our organization, Johnny Denasi. So is she going to even know that I did that? Or am I going to probably just send her a letter and say, unfortunately, we decided to go on and looking at other candidates, which is going to happen?
Yeah.
She didn't even know.
Didn't even know.
You never know. Happens all the time. You never even know why I never gave you the chance to even come through the door. That's pretty important. So that footprint and the personal brand, as Mr. Lewis talked to you guys about, is so important, guys. Because those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. We're making decisions based on that. If I was to tell you that a third of those same recruiters make a decision right out the gate to not hire someone based on what they see on social media. That's 1 out of 3. That's a pretty big figure, what do you think? So that tells me, as a parent to a 13-year-old and 8-year-old, I need to talk to them about the importance of what they say and do on social media. It's the greatest avenue that we have now. It's wonderful if you use it correctly to market yourself, to brand yourself. Setting yourself up with business profiles like LinkedIn, very important. Those kinds of things are important, guys. But you gotta think about the footprint that you're leaving and how long. I told a story this morning about from my previous company. We had a young lady in a market down in the Carolinas, and she was already working for us. And she went on Facebook and said, hey, I work with so-and-so, I'm a sales consultant, I'm great, please come see me, ... I told Mr. Loris and the young lady and the students we met this morning, Mr. Dolores' department of my former organization gave her a call. We need to talk.
Yeah.
What do you mean we need to talk? Well, we saw something on Facebook and we need to talk to you about it. Because, one, we didn't give you permission to advertise on our behalf. One. And some of the things you said were not conducive to our brand. What do you think happened? Take a guess. Correct. We let her go. Now, did she do that maliciously? Did she set out to lose her job? She set out to market herself. But there are provisions and guidelines to how you do it. My company, current company, I'm sure your company, has very distinct social media guidelines. Guess what? When you come to work for my organization as a new hire, in our new hire package, there is a form that gives you our social media guidelines.
That's right.
Guess what you have to do at the bottom of that form? There you go. You sign it. So that means when Stephen goes on Facebook, when Mr. Whitaker goes on Facebook and sees something crazy, if I do, not saying I don't go to people's Facebook, that's not my deal. But if I so choose, or I've heard that we've had situations where other employees have come to us as management and say, you need to take a look at
Yes.
Mr. Lord's got some crazy stuff out there, y'all need to go take a look. So now here comes Stephen. I'm like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I walk past Mr. Lord's every day. I didn't know she had some crazy stuff. Now I gotta go look. Uh-oh. Now there's something on there that's not so great.
Yeah,
So now what do? I call my HR department and say, you know what I need you to do?
yeah,
I need you to pull the social media document
yeah,
that Mr. Lord signed.
yeah.
Because I want you to send that over to me, because I gotta sit down with Ms. Lord.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna talk to her about what she signed and what I saw.
Yeah,
Does that make sense to you, guys? The goal is to never put yourself in that situation, guys. Use social media as the advent that it is. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool for all of us. Businesses market themselves their way. That's how we do business. My company, we're on Facebook, Instagram, go down the list. I'm sure yours as well. This is how we do business. And it's wonderful. It's an excellent, excellent tool when utilized properly. What we want to talk to you guys about is some of the things that you don't do to protect yourself and protect your brand. Because it's all about branding. Because what's the worst thing? You're in a job, you're doing well, 2, 3 years go by, it's excellent. You're enjoying it, you take care of your family, everything's great. And one day, Mr. Lawrence calls you from HR and says, Mr. Whitaker, can I see you? I'm honored, I'm a great employee. I work every day, I'm here on time, I do my job. What in the world does Mr. Lawrence department want to see me about? I don't do anything wrong. I pick up the phone, I call my wife, so I don't know why Mr. Lawrence want to talk to me. Maybe she's going to promote me. And Mr. Lawrence's department in HR says, I want to talk to you about something we just saw. Worst conversation you could possibly have. Because here's the deal, guys. Once you throw it out there, can you get it back? In the world of social media, can you say, I tell my daughter, is there a rewind button? There's no rewind, is it? Once it's out there, uh-oh. Now, there's some things, you can block and all that, but most of the time it is what? Too late. It's out there. Now you gotta play catch up. Another thing we talked about this morning is what if? Someone asked a question, the Lord's going to test it and say, well, what if something does get out there and your employee gets it? What do you do? I said the first thing you do is you start with the word that starts with an H. What do you do? Starts with an H. Honest. You tell the truth. You tell the truth. It may not be the end, but guess what? If you start to lie, it probably will be. It probably will be the end. You tell the truth. Hey. we had an analogy this morning I said it's by instance. It's by event. And what I mean by that is, if 10 years ago, and I said it this morning, you took a picture on the beach at Rehoboth with a beer in your hand, and you're a great employee, am I probably going to say, oh God, you're out of here? Probably not. But if that picture has you on the beach with an arsenal of guns, what do you think I'm probably going to do?
Not gonna get
Do you get what I mean by the instance and the severity of it? I'm not going to hold you accountable for maybe standing there with that one beer 10 years ago. But the fact that you're standing there with an arsenal of guns, now I'm starting to worry about your intentions and certainly the protection and the security of my company. You see what I'm saying? So why put ourselves in those situations? You got to protect yourself and your brand at all times, guys. It's so important. Does anybody have any questions? What are your thoughts? Because first off, we all have social media, including me. We all have social media. But I also know, even in my position, I'm not above anyone else.
No.
I report to the chairman of the board and the CEO.
Oh, boy.
That's what I report to.
You're held at a higher standard.
If they see me on the beach with the arsenal of guns, what y'all think's going to happen?
Fired.
You already know what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So we're all under the same guidelines. So think about it. Think about the future. And this is how I want you to look at it. Whatever you put, would you put anything out there that you wouldn't want anyone else to see? Simple as that. Someone said to me just a few minutes ago, we were at lunch, and it's one of your professors, he said, don't put anything out there you wouldn't want your mom and your grandmother to see. He could have said it more eloquently. If you don't want your mama and your grandmama to see it or hear it, you probably better not do it. If you got to think twice about it, say, well, mama, what grandma thinks, don't do it. Don't do it. It's pretty simple. He said it, and I laughed for 5 minutes. I said, I speak all the time. I never thought in those terms, but it's very true.
That's true.
It's about as true as it could be, guys. That's that's what this is, and how important this social media piece is to us right now. And certainly from a job, you guys are graduating, coming out to the workforce. Our goal is to try to prep you and teach you and give you some experience that we have. Certainly I'm a hiring manager, so is Mr. Loris. We're telling you some of the things that we're looking at. And some of them are transparent to you. And those are the most scary things, because you don't even know that we're taking a look at that. We're taking a look at it. It's very, very important. Okay?
And once you get the job, Stephen is, that's why I want him to take his time with this, because I think this is so important. And my recruiters, they go out and they look, but employees do bring information. You don't even have to look as employees, but when you get the job, don't call out sick. Then another employee says, well, you know, they were at the mud run, and they said they had a broken ankle. This is a true story that happened and I won't say where. This is a true story. They were out on medical leave, FMLA, for weeks, but and said they broke something, but we're at the mud run. The employees took pictures, took it off their Facebook. We are paying them medical leave. They're getting paid to be out, recuperating, and they're doing the mud run. Do you know how intense that mud run is? You got to jump through stuff, leap over walls. Another employee said they broke something. I kid you not, same division. They were at Rehoboth Beach with a beer and said they had broke. Then when I questioned him, he said, well, what else? I got tired of sitting at home. Why wouldn't I go to the beach? I said, well, if you could sit, you could have come to work. We'd have propped your foot up, put you in front of your computer. You could have worked from home. We are paying you to be on leave, that you are too sick to work. You're at the beach. He said, well, I didn't see anything wrong with going to the beach. I got bored. And I said, you drove an hour out of the way to go to the beach and drink beer when you could have been at your desk working, or we could have let you work from home. We could have given you a laptop. But so that wasn't a good end result. So, and employees, we never knew the employees brought it to us and said, here's the pictures, this is the date, this is the time stamp.
There you go.
And of course he unfriended them. He found out who it was, he unfriended them. It was too late. It's too late. Just be careful with that. If you're sick and you really just want to call in a sick day, just stay home. Watch some movies, eat some popcorn, just stay home. Don't be at the mall. Like another one was at the mall in Dover, supposed to be sick. Guess who she ran into? Because some coworkers. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Is it worth losing your job over?
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
The thing is, guys, in the world that we live in now, different than when I was in college, it's a different world. That it takes what? One picture could be broadcast to the whole world in how many seconds? Maybe 5, maybe less than that. Maybe less than that. It's too late. And like I said, and that's why I keep harping on the point. Once it's out there, it's out there. You can't get it back. You hope that it doesn't come back to you in a detrimental way, but you don't know. You never know. And that's how we have to think of it every time that we're on social media sites and every time that we're reading. And how many times have any of us saw something in a Facebook post or Instagram, whatever, and you thought, oh my God, I know that person didn't mean to say that. Oh my God, I know they didn't mean that. They couldn't have meant that. But they can't. It's too late. It's too late. I know that person. I grew up with them. They didn't mean it like that. But guess what? It's already out there to the masses. And you spend the rest of your time trying to backtrack and say, oh no, Mr. Lois is a great woman and Mr. Stevens is a great woman. They were great. They didn't mean it by that, but it's out there now for millions and millions of people. So, okay? Thoughts? Questions? Is everybody going to run out of here and check and all this social media, delete it? Did I just mess up everybody's platform for the next day?
Who's on LinkedIn?
Very
Okay,
important.
good. Thank you. There's a question back there.
Yeah, question. Yes, sir.
Steve, would you care to comment in this world of selfie culture? Is there any etiquette people have to follow in selfies?
Selfies.
Same thing. Same
That's one
thing.
of the things I see all the time.
It's the same thing. I tell my daughters, I told you guys I got a 13 and 8-year-old. Take a selfie, you send it. Now it's out there. You post it. Now it's what? Out there. It's out there. You can't pull it back. It's the same thought process.
Especially of inappropriate body parts. Now, I know that's popular, and I know that's where you're, but
Yeah, I know where you're going with it.
that is
I'm trying
so,
not to get there. I know
that
where
is
you're going.
never okay
No.
nowhere. That's just not gonna, your brand and it's gonna take years to recover from something like that. You got another question there.
Somewhere in there, I think even on this one, on the one that I hand out, it said, hey guys, be careful with the bikini pics.
Yeah.
Be careful with them. And I'm not saying, I mean, we live on the shore. Everything's about the beach where we are over
Yeah.
here. But be very careful with the bikini pics. Your boss, you don't want your boss saying, this, you don't want that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them to second guess who you are. You're a good worker, you work hard, you come to work, you do everything you should. You don't want anyone to start to second guess your decision making, because that's really what this is about.
And your credibility.
Your credibility and decision making. That's what this is really about. And I'm the first to say, my daughters, my 13-year-old, my God, that's what this is. But you got to be very careful.
Yeah.
You got to be very careful, because here's the deal: you send it to somebody, right?
They go.
Your one friend. Dolores is my friend. I send my picture to Dolores.
I got 1,000 connections. I'm gonna send it to all of them.
Now, 1,500 people have a picture to see. Well, hold it. This Dolores was the only person I sent this to.
And be careful of family, because we have a cousin, Teddy, in D.C. Every time we get together, he's taking pictures at family events and posting on Facebook. Now, I didn't know about that. So I told him, thankfully I'm not doing anything wrong besides stuffing my face. But still,
Right.
Can I go to a family barbecue without you putting something on Facebook? So be careful of family getting you in.
Absolutely.
Family will.
Again, I sent my picture to Miss Dolores, and now
Yeah.
I'm getting texts from people I don't even know. Say, hey, Steve, I saw your picture, man. That's happened to with my fraternity brothers. Like, hey, man, I saw this.
They wanna
wait, man. I never seen. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. And guess what? Hopefully it's harmless, and the people who saw it, no harm, no foul. But suppose not.
That's right.
Suppose it's someone who really does have an ill will for Steve. And says, oh, guess what? I'm going to send this to so-and-so or so. Now you got a problem.
I
And
thought
all I'm saying is, I don't know how this could have happened. I'll get the question. I only sent my picture to who?
Dolores.
Dolores.
And I shared it with the world.
Now the world is now texting and calling me. My frat brothers calling me. Hey, Steve, I just saw you in, I didn't know you went to, yeah. And y'all already know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I did that today, by the way. I saw someone who knew someone that I worked with, took a selfie, sent it to him. It's done going, but
That's the world we live in.
That's the world.
That's where we are. That's where we are. Protect your brand.
Yeah.
Protect your brand always. You guys have a wonderful opportunity here at this wonderful university to come out and start your careers and go on to some really wonderful and great and beautiful things. But in that process, you got to protect your brand so that you get the opportunity. Because the worst thing is to get cut off, as I said earlier, before you even get in the door. That a Stephen or Mr. Dolores of the world takes a look at something, even though your resume says some wonderful things.
Because we will all remember Monica Lewinsky. Is she working anywhere to this day? She had to write a book. Be it right or wrong, her career and her brand we're all going to remember it. If you don't, some of you, I know in history that name has come up, but I will always remember that. But her career, she's like self-employed. Somebody had a.
Yeah, somebody had. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You know what Snapchat is, right?
No, I have no idea what my 13-year-old. No, I never heard of Snapchat. What's that? I told you I had a 13-year.
Filters on there, like the little
Yes.
dog filters.
Yes.
So how would you feel personally if somebody works for your company, they post that? I mean, would you feel? I mean, it's no harm. I know, like, there can be certain companies that have like a guideline against that.
This is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to always defer back to our policy. Because I only can enforce what?
The policy.
Our policy. So when situations like that, I'm going to go back to, I always say not the exception, but the what? The rule. I'm going to pull out our policy. I say, let's read our policy. Let's talk about the things that are in here and the things that are not. And if it goes against what those guidelines are in that policy, we're going to probably have a situation. If not, it may be just a conversation. But here's what my charge to you. Stay away from anything that you got to think twice anything that makes you bat your eye, I said, or maybe, it's probably what? Something you need to stay away. If you having that, I call that inner conversation, if you're having that inner conversation with yourselves, stop right there. Because the thing Grandma Whitaker used to say, that inner conscious is telling you,
Not to do it.
don't do it. Your conscience is telling you, this is probably not right. So, because how many of us in our lives, and I'm older than pretty much all of you guys, how many times in your life something came about and you think back and say, God, my conscience told me, I knew I should have done that. I knew good and well, when I did it, I was thinking that I shouldn't have did it, and how many times? Follow that inner being, that inner conscience. Just stop it right there. As soon as you got to think it, you'll be much more safer, if you will.
I wanted to say something now. If someone posts something, especially I like Instagram, and if someone comments or something, and it's something, you can block that, but you can't be responsible for what somebody else says about you. Now, corporations are not like so picky that they're ridiculous.
No.
But, as you begin to go forward your career, start cleaning up, start just talking to people versus just sending everything that's cute and funny, and begin to take a look. Corporations aren't gonna, if you had a wild party, you were in college, and if that comes up, they were in college too. They have lived lives too. They're not to the point of ridiculousness, but now it's time for you to take all that stuff serious. When you first came freshman and sophomore, maybe you had a few wild years. Now it's time to put that stuff to the side and begin to act, because now you're building your resume and your portfolio. And, people are going to start searching. So now is the time to kind of put away those foolish things and get more serious about your career. Because there's some very conservative, companies are still very conservative. And they don't want their brand and their image tarnished because you're there, because you're a reflection of them at that point. Deering Company is very still picky. They still have conservative ways. His company, very picky. The state of Delaware, if you get on there talking about the Governor Carney, you can say you have free speech and all of that. Just like you can be appointed, you can be unappointed too. So, if you may not like the sitting governor, but I wouldn't talk about him. I wouldn't talk about any political official. It's just not the professional thing to do, So you want to save that conversation, maybe in a very private company and to make sure they're not taping you. Make sure it's just easy to keep things on the positive high road,
And I'll close with this.
I think she had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed somebody.
No,
Go ahead. You sure? Oh, okay. I'll close on this. The same guidelines, if you will, that I'm kind of painting for you guys individually, guess what? Us corporations and companies are held to the same guidelines.
Yeah.
Because as we go on Facebook and post something crazy for our thousands and thousands of customers to see,
Yes, right.
what are they going to start to think? Are they going to stop possibly coming to buy furniture from my corporation? We start saying crazy things or things so far left or right or whatever you have. Guess what? It's the same thought process. Our postings have to be equally more conscious
That's right.
in what we post about our business, about how we do business,
About
our
politics.
customers. Politics. You can't even touch that.
We can't touch
in the
that.
business world. You can't go.
touch that.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
Use my corporation. If we went on and started giving our political views, or the CEO, or the chairman, or mine, or any of us, upper management, if we start giving political views,
Fired.
how often, well, fire is one, exactly, right out the gate, fired, because that's in our guidelines, in our handbook, you can't do that. So you're fired first out the gate. But think of the implications it is to our customers. Think of how we start to alienate
Exactly.
our customers immediately. And here's the thing, can we take it back?
No.
Can we say, we were just kidding, we were just playing. We didn't mean that.
No.
We didn't mean that. We just kidding. Too late. Too late. So I want you guys to look at it twofold. From a personal standpoint, obviously, in your brand and how you brand yourself and protecting yourself, but there's also companies are held to the same guidelines. Okay?
Wasn't that excellent advice? Clean up that social media.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. I love that. I think that was even better than the first time. And
Any questions?
we're gonna hang out here if you do have some questions.
Yeah, we're
and-
not going anywhere. We got a whole 4 minutes.
But
Talk
that is
fast.
so
No,
important.
No, I'm just playing.
Go take a look, begin to show yourselves as professionals that we see. And, you know, if there's a oopsie out there, you know, and you have to sign a social media policy,
I have a question. You said like, yeah, for the first 2 years, maybe you were wild and then clean up now. But it's like a continuum, right? How can you clean up, suddenly get up one morning and say, okay, I'm a different person now?
Well, it's not so much that.
but
Go
I
ahead,
think
I'm
there's
sorry.
the
Go ahead.
understanding that corporations know when you come to college, and some of you, you know, you want to be, you're free, you can do whatever. They get that. You shouldn't be doing it your junior, your senior, you know, there should be a break. And you could easily explain, yeah, I came to college, I was wild. They can relate to the honesty.
Yep.
But if you've been 4 years and you're still posting the same thing after 4, you're not mature, number one. And
I'm getting worried. Now I'm starting to
we
get worried. Now I'm starting to worry. I'm saying, you've been out of college 4 years and I'm seeing the same kinds of things
same-
that I kind of looked over in your original interview because I said, oh, you just got out of school.
You just, yeah.
I get it. I was in college. I'm a frat guy, all of that. I got all of that. Now we're 4 years into it and I'm still seeing the same things that I saw when you first started with us. Now it's a concern.
Right.
It's a concern.
Because it shows a predictable pattern of behavior that's going to continue into the workforce. And workforces, again, they want to reduce their risk. Hiring you, they've got to weigh, just with the information, they don't know you, what risk? Are you low or high? If you're standing with an assault rifle, that's pretty high. Nobody's going to hire you. If you're spouting political views, of course you may
Pretty
be
high.
upset, but get
Pretty high.
over it. Go out and vote the next 4 years and make a difference. And maybe your kid, you know, we all, but you have to handle, how do you handle certain things? Corporations look at that because it's a predictor of success. And you can't be an embarrassment to the firm, to the company. You know, so, you know, at some point, so yes, so, you know, if you're still a junior or senior, you're still doing the same kind of stuff, then yeah, that's a predictor of success that they don't want, you know, you know, so there's a pattern and a trend there that needs to discontinue.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys.
You guys are wonderful.
Fantastic college.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us here. I loved your presentation. I think